Hi guys, welcome to another episode of SCN. On today's Christmas show, we're going to be answering the millions of emails we get from all of our viewers.
No, we haven't. We just got 6.
Okay, I'll be answering the 6 emails we received from all of our viewers. And we're going to end off with some killer videos on just why we go through the pain and anguish of buying and selling cars. Now, we get a lot of questions asked, and we get a lot of questions asked the same. The first question that I've got here is a question that people do always ask themselves, is how do I calculate my finance repayment? Now, you can get out there and take a chance. You can pull the abacus down from the shelf, you can guess, or alternatively, www.westbank.co.za. Get onto Westbank's website. They will show you exactly how to work out the repayment on your car. Do I trade or sell privately is a question we get asked a lot. Now, we did a show some time ago where we featured a company called motofin.com. These guys are facilitators of private-to-private finance. And given the kind of support that company offers, we advise you to always try and sell privately where you can. Selling privately will mean you're going to maximize what you're getting back for your car, firstly. And secondly, it allows you to walk in and purchase a new car without a trade-in. It makes negotiating a hell of a lot easier. Buying versus leasing is a question I get asked a lot. Now, for those who don't understand what leasing is versus buying outright, as you can imagine, means you buy a car, you finance it over a period. At the end of that period, you own the car. Where leasing is, you buy a car for a limited period, 24, 36, 48 months. At the end of that period, you don't own the car, you simply hand the keys back. Now, I've got to tell you, it doesn't sound like the way to go to most consumers. South Africans tend to believe that they have got appreciating assets in their cars. Cars are not appreciating assets. They are definitely depreciating assets. If you have the ability to pick a car of your choice, something you can afford, drive it for 36 months, hand the keys back, go and pick yourself another car and continue that cycle, that's where my money would go. Again, I've advised people to buy carefully when they're buying used. You can't lease used cars, you can only lease new cars. That is the problem with leasing. So overall, I'm still saying buy if you're going to buy used, but if you're buying something new, think about leasing that car. Petrol versus diesel is an age-old question, and we've got an email here asking the same thing. I've got to tell you, most of the time it's very much a personal preference. But for my money, if I'm buying a big off-roader, if I'm buying an SUV or a 4x4, I'm always going to buy a car like that in diesel for obvious reasons because of the consumption. I also find that the big off-roaders in diesel perform far better. The diesel engines aren't designed for big top end, but that's not what you're wanting out of an off-roader. Having said that, if I'm buying a mid-range saloon, if I'm buying a 2.5 litre car, I'd prefer to have the car in petrol, not diesel. Again, only my preference. But I've got to tell you, I find the little mid-range petrol cars drive far better than the diesels. When's the best time to sell my new car is a question that the guys often ask. And I've got to tell you that answer is dependent on several different factors. Let me give you a couple. The first thing is this: the longer you finance your vehicle over, the longer you have to drive your car before you're really in a financial situation to be able to change. So if you're financing your car over 60 or 72 months, make no mistake, you're not being able to change that car for at least 48 months. So the longer you finance it, the longer you've got to drive it. The other thing that's going to have a modicum of decision-making problem for you is going to be when the manufacturers put a new shape car on the market. If you're driving a current shape car and the manufacturers have a shape change, you do not want to wait too long into that shape change before you change your car. I'm not saying you've got to be keeping up with the Joneses. What I'm saying is this: there's a time to sell, and once manufacturers have changed shape on you, the clock has begun ticking. So do yourself a favor, watch that carefully. How do I know if my car's been accident damaged? This is a question we get asked all the time, and I've got to tell you, we've done a show on this before, and we recommend the services of DEKRA. These guys are absolute experts when it comes to analyzing cars. They'll give you all of the technical specs on your car. They'll let you know if the car's sound mechanically, and also they will let you know if the car's been accident damaged. Now, thanks to the CPA, the Consumer Protection Act, if you buy a vehicle that has had accident damage and the dealer is not given you that knowledge up front, so they haven't disclosed that to you, you can take that car back at any point and have the entire transaction reversed. If you're buying privately, I've got to recommend use the guys at DEKRA, but if you're buying from a reputable dealer, you should have nothing to worry about. Now, I've got to tell you, we talked about those killer videos. This is exactly why we go through the trials and tribulations of car buying. Just watch this. That's exactly why we go through the trials and tribulations. Wasn't that some killer footage? Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to smash that like button. Check out the original video on the links below. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. I've been Nick. It's been real. Merry Christmas.
Surf4Cars.
C-O-Z-A.